Last year, 11,000 top climate scientists spoke up and said that human beings are facing what they called an existential crisis, an existential threat. Now, what does that mean? It means that climate is a threat to our very existence as human beings. It means extinction! Extinction! Extinction means everybody dies. This is the level of threat that we are talking about when we say we are facing a climate emergency. An emergency, by its very nature, is a very big problem. It's something you have to deal with right now. 30 countries have acknowledged the threat of the climate crisis and have declared an emergency. 68% of councils have declared a climate emergency, but not the Worcestershire County Council. They are burying their heads in the sand and refusing to provide the leadership necessary to address this crisis. Perhaps you're asking yourself if this is really a crisis. Perhaps you've heard predictions of what will happen to the climate by the end of the century. And since you probably won't be around for that, maybe you're not too worried. Well, if the need to protect today's children and to protect future generations is not enough to motivate you, let me tell you that the climate emergency has already started, right here, right now in Worcestershire. Climate change has started as more extreme weather. In February of this year, we experienced the wettest February on record ever in history. The wettest. And then in April and May, we had the driest April and May ever experienced on record. So we had the wettest February followed by the driest spring. And as a direct result of that, UK farmers' crops are down by 50% this year. Yes, that's right. 50% of UK crops failed this year due to the rapidly changing climate. Now, at the moment, we have the ability to import food from other places. So you won't go hungry. Well, at least not this winter. But a few more crop failures in other parts of the world will be catastrophic. You saw bare shelves this year when looking for hand sanitizer and loo roll. Just imagine the rest of the shelves will become bare too. How will you feed your family? This is not something that's going to wait until the end of the century to happen. This is coming for all of us. We need to understand the direct threat that we face. We need the government at all levels to tell you the truth about how bad the climate emergency is. And we need real leadership, bold and courageous leadership to begin addressing the climate emergency right now. But what is the Worcestershire County Council doing? Not enough. They have failed to declare a climate emergency, which might have focused their minds on the tough task ahead. They have a gentle target to reduce emissions by 2050. But our neighbours over in Herefordshire are going to reduce 75% of all greenhouse gas emissions in the next 5 years. This is not rocket science. The technology and the expertise to create green energy and a green economy and a sustainable society exist now. But the Worcestershire County Council are not willing to do their bit. When I spoke with the councillor responsible for the environment, Tony Miller, last night on BBC Hereford and Worcester Radio, he was asked, what big plans does the Worcestershire County Council have to reduce emissions? And he fumbled around, and the best he could come up with was some solar panels on council buildings. Now, if you go over to Herefordshire, they're looking at green transport, and they're looking not only at county council buildings, but how all of our homes and all of our businesses can bring emissions to zero as quickly as possible. And that is what we need to save our planet and to save our people. The lack of leadership from Worcestershire County Council is adding to the threat we face in the climate emergency. We demand they tell you all the truth about the extent of the climate crisis and then take immediate actions to drastically reduce our emissions, not just in their county buildings and their county vehicles, but in all the business and the houses and the vehicles here too. If you agree this is necessary, then contact your county councillor and tell them so. You may feel that the county councillor are faceless bureaucrats who don't care about you and the future of our climate here. Tell them differently. There is no time to lose. I ask you now to rise up and speak out. Rise up and speak out like your life depends on it, because it does. Rise up and help protect your families, your neighbours and your communities by demanding the County Council act now on the climate emergency. We are Extinction Rebellion, and we will not rest until the Council takes its responsibility seriously. We are ordinary people, just like you, who have decided to take a stand. The problems of the climate emergency are difficult and sometimes overwhelming. And it's easy to carry on with business as usual because we don't know how to change the system. But COVID-19 has taught us we can make massive changes very quickly when we have the collective will to do so. We invite you to join us, to become part of our community. We will not rest until we have done everything we can to stop climate breakdown from threatening life on our planet. We are Extinction Rebellion, and we will not go quietly into that dark night. Extinction! Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Join us.